What's up and what's going on, everybody? This is Al, man. Poker with Poker with Alex, and heading out this morning. About to head over to my favorite place in the morning. Going over to the Poker House. We got the Texas Poker, so we call them Texas Poker houses down here in Texas. And man, if you love playing poker, then this is right up your alley, right? You don't have to worry about casinos. You don't have to worry about travel. You don't have to worry about hotels, food, gas. For the most part, when it comes to this level of being able to actually go to a poker room that is right in your backyard. So I love it. Heading over this morning. Gonna buy in for 300. 1-2, no limit, low stakes. And try to see what we can do. Up and down, right, for the last 2 days. Yesterday was a lot better. Got part of my losses back. I made a video telling and describing what those hands were and how I felt I did nothing wrong, but the outcome is what it is. And you cannot let that affect your game. When that happens, yeah, you're gonna feel bad and you're gonna be mad and upset and you wanna go off and things like that, especially if you are the type of person that is competitive, right? The competitive nature of the game is what is going to make you feel the way you feel. It has nothing to do with you saying, I'm just a bad player. It's got to do with the competitive side, the edge of it. But anyway, I'm leaving early. And we probably won't start till about 10:30, but it is a little bit after 9 o'clock. The building, for the most part, is open all day and all night. As long as players are there, it never shuts down. But if the game, say for some reason, breaks between 3 and 4, I don't know if anybody stays there just in case. I'm thinking they probably wise up and say, you know what, shut it, and then we'll come back. So usually it open back at 9 o'clock if they have nobody there. They'll just come back at 9 o'clock and you can come in the building. I like to go early, and it's pretty much because I think it deals with my military. They always say, if you're not early, you late. That used to be the old saying when I was in the Navy. Took me a while to gravitate toward that because, when you're young and dumb, you don't understand a lot of things. You just say, you got that part of that energy where you're not trying to hear it. And you say, as long as I'm there, what are you complaining about, right? I can walk in and get there 30 seconds before we got to show up for muster. But as long as I'm there, I'm not late. But really you are. Really you are. The more when you wake up and you get mature in life, that is when you understand a lot of things that you don't understand when you're young. When we're young, man, our brain is so scrambled and so mushed and all over the place. We're trying to figure it out. And that goes to, I remember when I joined the military back in 1988, sitting on the porch with my father, rest in peace. And he had no idea. I did all this on my own. I went and I joined. And then I broke it down to him on the porch. No worries, no crying. He said, well, what you gonna do? And I said, I'm gonna figure it out. And that is what you do when you're young. That is what life is like when you're young. Nobody should be judging, for the most part. We should not be judging a young person's thinking. If they on the right track and you just know they're not there yet, then you can give them some advice. You can let them make a mistake so that way they can learn from it. That's the way I learned. My father used to let us make mistakes, and that is how we learn from it. He'll come to us and say, what did you learn, right? Why did you do that? He asked the why question. When you're young, you don't know how to give an answer. You're like, I don't know. For the most part, that's how it is. But, such is life. But yeah, going up here early. And the reason why is because I have my own type of ritual. I like to get there early so I can smell the building, right? Look at the tables. Look at the TVs. I'm trying to see what kind of mood that the people that open the building are in. Did they wake up on the wrong side of bed? How are they greeting me when I walk in the building? Things like that. I want to know exactly what I'm about to get myself into before I sit down. Other reason I like to get there early is because I have a special seating arrangement that makes me feel comfortable on the poker table, right? I'm not going to tell anybody what that is because somebody local may see this. But I'll say for the most part, I got seats that I love sitting in. And when I get there, I got one seat that I always start with. And then after that, I'll rotate if I have to, right? I'll move around to different seats and I'll say, okay, I don't feel like I'm doing anything in this seat, so let me go here, right? We all do it. We move around for the most part. A lot of people don't. Some people, they'll stay in their seat and I got an old guy, he has to sit across from the dealer because of his vision, right? So if he's sitting anywhere else, regardless if he's winning or losing, he has to have that seat. And a lot of times when he shows up, if there's a seat available somewhere else, some players get up for him, right? Go figure. But that's what they do. But I never sit there, so I never have that problem. That's why I go early, so I can always get the seat that I'm looking for. Because a lot of players, man, they'll walk in right when they think the game is going to pick up, right? So, and a lot of times they don't have the freedom, like most of us. Like I got the freedom. If that place open at 7 o'clock in the morning, I got the freedom to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning because I have no obligations to anything except myself, my wife. All my kids are grown. They all doing well. Pat myself on the back for that, for the most part. But as far as that goes, yeah, I have no obligations to a lot of things that I used to have obligations to when I was growing up and I was young. Now that I'm older and everybody else is older now, they are on they're running their own lane. They're riding their own wave. And I'm glad. I'm proud of that. I have nobody saying, hey, I need to come stay with you or anything, right? Everybody paying their bills. So I appreciate, I'm blessed that I'm in that lane for the most part. No generational wealth either. Just people understand how to get it done, right? So, and that's how I am. I always understood how to get it done. I figure it out. That is what I always used to always live by. I live by that code. I'll figure it out. Even at 60, I'm still, some days I got to figure it out because some things happen and you just got to figure it out. But we're going to get up here and enjoy the day. It's Saturday. It's a rainy day. The sky's, trying to turn back blue now, but we had some storms that came through this morning and it is what it is. It was the way I wanted it because we got a drought down here in Texas. And a lot of people are contemplating about moving out of this area and thinking they need to move to other cities in Texas in order to keep up with what's happening as far as water levels go. I'm not really sure how serious it's going to get before it gets serious. I just know right now it's got people talking and we got that drought going on. So we got water hours, we got things we can't do, certain days you can cut water on for a minute. My wife, she's real smart. She has botanicals in the backyard, her garden. So basically she just takes a bunch of buckets, them painter buckets you get, them big boys, like with Home Depot and all that. And we just put them in the backyard. And when it's raining, they fill up and she's able to keep up with her plants as far as watering them. A lot of them is just sun. So she's blessed that she knows what she's doing. So a lot of them can survive just by, without the water for whatever that's worth. I don't know all about that stuff. She does. And she's a good poker player too. She pretty much, for the last 2 days, she's turned it around, right? And it goes with, she don't play as often as I do. So, it's like, everything ain't like riding a bike. Some days you gotta go to the table and even when you don't feel like it, that you wanna go, you gotta go, right? If it's something that you do, I'm not saying go because you have to go. I'm saying if you know you're gonna be playing like this, then you have to go. You should. Even on the day when you lose, right? You go right back and you get back on the table. If it ain't breaking you financially, then you go back and you get on the table, right? So I don't cry over spilled milk when it comes to that. I may get upset, but I don't linger on it, right? Because if I do that, then my game is going to be off and I'm going to make more mistakes that I could have controlled if I didn't allow that situation. I wouldn't change up anything when I lose a hand, right? Because the way I play, I don't BS the game. If I'm coming with it, I'm coming with it. And best believe, if my chips come out there on the table and I say I'm betting this, it's because I got something that I feel can either dominate this situation and I don't have to worry about losing. But if I do lose, then I know I went down with a fight. You know what I'm saying? So that is how I feel about it. But the other thing, when you are playing this, I'm going to tell you, like I always say, from an older guy, wiser guy, to my youngsters out there, do not jump in this lane if you cannot handle what comes with it, because you are not guaranteed success. You are not guaranteed every day to come in, and you can, people, they can edit videos all day on YouTube and make it look like these guys never lose, right? And for the most part, they may have a lot of days, because if you do it often enough, you're going to have more better days than worse days. If you just have worse days, then it's probably meant for you not to be doing this, right? You shouldn't be doing it. But for my youngsters, if you got to walk around the house and you looking for money, scraping up whatever you can find, you got to go to the pawn shop and pawn something off, right? If you got to ask people to stake you and I'll pay you back, right? Then this isn't the lane, in my opinion, for you, right? Me not being a gambler, 100% what you consider what a gambler is. Like I said, I don't gamble in sports. Only time I ever made a bet with somebody was a long time ago, when I think it was North Carolina back in the 80s, playing somebody, and I was in the Navy. And me and this guy, I'm still young, and he said, man, I bet you $50 that so-and-so, this team beat North Carolina, right? Because I was a big North Carolina fan. And I say, bet. Didn't even think about it. Just said bet. I said, just make sure, though, I get my money, and if I lose, you get yours. So we shook on it, honored it. And sure enough, I won, and I got that $50 from him. That did not make me feel that I'm on to something and I can get money like this. I knew already, because I grew up in a gambling family, and I've seen the bad side of it, right? I've seen even people that wasn't in my family. Like I said, I used to hang around this stuff, and I would see people rolling dice, and I would see them playing cards, and I would see somebody walking out with rabbit ears, right? Dice, you can't control how that outcome is going to be. You just rolling it. You hoping them dice hit where you want them to hit. And a lot of times it can. You can have a good day. But if you go back, that good day you had when you were happy and bragging and talking about how you went down there and cleaned everybody out, that next day you go back there again, and next thing you know, you coming back saying, damn, I should have stayed away. I should have gave it a few days, before I went back. But it doesn't work like that, man. That's why that definition of gambling is a definition that I don't want to be under, right? When it comes to me just doing poker, I feel, like I said before, man, when it comes to chess, I control that situation. Like I said, your luck is the first two cards that you get. When that board hits and everybody gets their bets in, and that board comes out and you don't have anything, but you're trying to act like you do, right? Sometimes it works, right? Because sometimes a board can be so bad that you're thinking, ain't no way anybody got any of this. But you just don't know. You could be getting trapped. Somebody will call you and come in low with kings or aces. Seen it. People come in low with queens. They do it because they're trying to make money. They're trying to get a return on their investment. So once they lay that bet out and that board comes out the way it is, and somebody fires, and all of a sudden, wow, what just happened? That person, and they said, damn, why didn't you bet your hand? I had people say this before, because down here where I play at, we got some gunslingers on the table. And these guys will call with a lot of hands that'll make you scratch your head. And this city is known for that, right? When I go up to other cities, and when I used to travel, and you know, you get into conversation with people and they'll say, where you from and all that, where you coming from, right? And you tell them, they say, oh, I heard about you boys down there. He said, y'all don't play. Y'all on a whole different level when it comes to playing poker. And I say, what you mean? He say, man, y'all believe in getting it in. He said, y'all play like you rolling, like it's a shootout and may the best card win, right? And I know that to be true because I used to travel and get out of here just so I can go play what I thought would be a real game when I went to these other cities. So yeah, I used to go up to Round Rock. I used to go play at the Lodge. I used to play over at Rounders. I played at SA Card House a couple of times when I was here, when I used to go up there. And the game was totally different. You actually had guys, for the most part, I'm gonna say the best place I used to play at, and I don't know if they still do it, but I know I used to love playing at Rounders and I love playing at Lodge, but the Lodge was a little bit too far for me to just keep traveling to. So I would go to Rounders because it was in San Antonio and the Lodge was in Round Rock for the most part. And so I would go to San Antonio and play at Rounders, which the Lodge bought. And man, we used to play, and I swear, man, it just felt like a whole different atmosphere of poker. It felt like these guys were coming in like they wanted to be artists on the poker table, right? There was nobody calling you with a 4-9 or calling you with a 3-10 or something like that. Down here, I've had people call me with a deuce 3 offsuit with my pocket aces. I go all in and they tell me, they say, I ain't even looking at my hand. I'm not even looking at my hand and I'm gonna call you, right? If you go all in. I got pocket aces and I did it. I went all in with those pocket aces. Now I know what y'all probably saying. Was it a trap? No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was no magician at the table. This in a regular card room. These guys, when I say they bet loose, they just bet loose. And I tell you, the ones that do it are the ones that have nothing to lose, right? They really have nothing to gain from poker. It's a rush. For them, they come in for the rush. They own things. Like I got one guy, he owns a donut shop, right? Makes a killing. Selling donuts, he makes a killing. That is his thing. He's young. And that young juice, like I say, when you come in young, you don't think about it. You just enjoying the rush. So he sits down, first hand, I get aces. And of course, I love my aces. It gets to me, and he says, I'm not even looking. Anybody bet, I'm not even gonna look. So I just happened to get lucky and got aces. So I went all in with my 200 and something, call. Sure enough, I had aces. He got 2-3. 2 on the flop or 3 on the turn, something like that. But he had 2-3 and took my aces down. So when I say people call and they bet wild, they will do it and have no qualms about it. And they don't think anything about it to them. They're just chips, right? They're just chips. And a lot of players, when they say that, you best believe that's how they feel about it. I said that before. But getting here early is one of the things I love doing. I don't know how do some of you guys wake up like going to breakfast and you thinking about poker. Me, like I say, man, I've been playing it for years. I've always, even when I'm not playing, because I had to travel and I had to go, you know, I didn't have the time to travel 100%, right? And just go back and forth. So I wouldn't do that because that's miles, man, putting on your vehicle to get to these places just to play. So I would look for house games around me and things like that, and that's what I would play. I would play the house games. But when it got here, right, and we finally started getting it established and it was here, back in 2017 is when they opened up the first one down here. And man, we used to go in that place and we would be there. If it opened, he used to open it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon just to make it right. He never opened early. He was the first one with it. He was the only one with it. And shout out to the homie, right, that opened up the first one for us to get into. And he would open up at 2 o'clock. Man, we would be in that place from 2 o'clock when it opened. And I probably wouldn't even leave out of there to about 1 or 2 o'clock at night because that was just the way we loved playing. It was good energy. Betting was there. Man, back then, we didn't even understand what we were doing. 100% the way you you figuring you playing ace king or something like that, and somebody say all in, man, you take that ace king and you throw it out there on that table, and you didn't even realize that you lost with it. You just realized that you just didn't have the luck to win with it, and you just chalked it up. But every time you got an ace king and somebody would say all in, you would bet and you would throw it out there. Are you supposed to? I don't know. I just know that when I flash back thinking about it, I just say, man, I remember ace king. We used to think ace king was the creme of the creme. We used to think it was better than aces sometime, right? Power. But you don't always hit with it. And that is what I came to learn now. Ace king does not mean you're going to walk away with chips. You're not going to walk away with that hand, right? You can get lucky with it. It can hit. Remember I said the first two cards are lucky. The skill is what you do with it after the fact. If somebody bets so much with the ace king, if somebody bets so much and you got an ace king in your hand, do you call them, right? If they say all in, man, 9 times out of 10, they already got your aces or they got your kings in your hand. Can you pull it off and get an ace king? You damn right you can. But, oh man, everybody's getting here early. They getting here early. They beat me. Two of the old guys, I just seen them. They're here already. So yeah, ace king, man, it can used to rattle. Man, I hope there's some people showing up. They got a little farmer's market going on right now. Check it. This is their farmer market right now. So this is what's happening. On Saturdays, everybody comes in here. But the poker room that I'm playing at is up here. So right now people are parked and they got all kind of stuff, man. Homegrown vegetables, jellies. My wife, she loves coming up here. So it's a big crowd every Saturday. But where I'm going to is right there. You see that building? It's called Ace One. That's where I'm going to. So, talking about the ace king again, one of those hands that I remember back in the days we used to get, and we used to think it had so much power behind it. We used to love playing with the ace king. But as you get older, man, I get an ace king in my hand now, and I'll come in with it. But if I see people raise hard, I'll think twice before I call them. That's just being honest. I fold an ace king. I folded it so many times, and you know what? It doesn't even hit. So it turned out to be a good decision on my part not to even call it and not to even get involved with it. So, ace king is not always the best hand to play with when you're playing 1-2. Tournament, it's a whole different thing. When you play a tournament, that's a whole different ball game. But when you just playing cash, ace king it can be your best friend and worst enemy at the same time. So anyway, I'm here, man. I'm about to go up in this building. I was just talking while I was on my way up the door, on my way up here to the building. But again, man, I appreciate the people that have subscribed, the people that like the channel. And this is just talking. On my way up here riding, like I got somebody riding with me. The wife, she ain't coming till a little bit later. She got something to do. So she gonna come up there a little later after she takes care of what she got to do this morning. But I'm up here now, and I brought you with me while I was on my way up the road and just sharing my thoughts. So anyway, about to get up in this building, get these cards in the air. If you out there playing poker, man, be wise in your decision of why you're playing. Do not look at this as a means of handling your business affairs, right? But unless you're playing on a level that's different from everybody else, where you got people backing you like the professionals do, those guys got stakes. They got people that give them money. They got commercials, everything. So when you see all that stuff on there and you see Phil Ivey and all these guys, man, them guys been in the trenches. They got it out the mud, and they are the knights of the game. So basically, you got to respect those guys. They're made, right? A lot of us not. So don't jump in here thinking that you are going to be top dog, that you can do this and you're going to walk in the building every day and have success, because it don't work like that. I told you stories already about my aces. That's 6 times, maybe twice. They held up for me. That's it. Other than that, they got beat every time. So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Peace.